pediatrician wrote the book on how climate change is making kids sick. Deborah used to avoid bringing up climate change at work. A pediatrician in Reno, Nevada, she treated kids for everything from asthma to depression without pulling their parents aside to explain how rising global temperatures are compromising human health, at least not until 2018. That summer, Hendrickson was treating a boy for exposure to wildfire smoke from California. In a hospital room, he shared with another boy also struggling to breathe. Looking out at the hazy sky, one of the kid's fathers asked what was happening. H., who had a background in forestry and the environmental science, decided to be blunt. It's climate change, she said. To her relief, no one scoffed, stormed out or demanded a new doctor. People are not denying the evidence, really, that's right in front of them. H. said. They may have different explanations for what's going on, but they understand that this is happening, and it's right outside the window. 6 years later, H. brings up climate change with the patients and their parents on the regular, so much so that in July, she released her first book, In the Air They Breathe, a pediatrician on the front lines of climate change. She shares anecdotes and explains all the ways climate change is making kids sick, sometimes fatally so. I really wrote this book because I wanted the parents to understand the urgency of the moment we are in, H. said. As kids head back to school, Bloomberg Green spoke with H. about her book and how parents and teachers can keep kids safe in a warming world. This interview has been edited and condensed for clarity. Kids across the U.S. are returning to school this month. What do you wish teachers and parents knew about how climate change is impacting them? In schools, one of the biggest issues is that the higher temperatures we are seeing are associated with more difficulty learning and behavior problems in classroom. Schools in areas that have in the past been more temperate, like Seattle and Reno, if the air conditioning goes out, if they don't have air conditioning because they've never needed it before at the time kids go back to school, those kids are more at risk of being affected. Here in the West, smoke becomes a big hazard this time of year. Typically, we were going through a hot, dry summer, and the fires will often start in late summer or early fall. The main pollutant in smoke is particulate pollution, and the particulates are often bound to heavy metals and toxic chemicals that are really bad for kids' lungs and other organs. We see increased rates of wheezing, coughing, and visit to the pediatrician when this kind of air hit down here. But it also influences kids over time because their lungs and brains are still growing and developing. We know that kids who are raised in heavily polluted areas that have a high rate of particle pollution, the kids are much more likely to have stunted, stiffer lungs, and those particles don't stop at the lung. They invade the bloodstream and affect every organ in the body.